Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, we got the Terence Crawford versus Canelo fight coming up in September. You know, biggest fight out there. I mean, we got a good fight card coming this weekend. It's going to be a few good fights this weekend. You know, I'm looking for that Tim Chu and Fundura rematch. That's going to be good. You know, I'm not too interested in the Usyk versus Dubois match, but it is a heavyweight match, and the legend in Usyk is fighting, right? I enjoy that. You know, I'm going for Usyk in that fight. I don't want Usyk. I would like him to retire undefeated now because he's just a legend. He's done a good job. But, you know, the Terence Crawford versus Canelo fight, it has everything going. It's everything in there. It's you know, a legendary fight, right? And when it first got announced, everybody was just saying, hey, basically, this stupid Crawford has no chance. And that narrative is gone now. You know, Crawford has a chance, according to everybody. So, you know, we got a good fight on our hands, right? And, you know, a lot of people are thinking that Crawford can win the fight. Right now, it's a whole different ball game. So, you know, I would say we're at about 50-50, which is pretty good for Crawford. I've told you on several occasions, I think Crawford has won already because that narrative of Crawford hasn't fought anybody and Crawford is overrated and all that. Well, if you're still saying that right now, then you're an idiot, right? Because you're going against all of the people that are boxers. Some of the absolute greatest of all times, like a Roy Jones or James Toney, you know, Bernard Hopkins, those kind of, Andre Ward. You're going against a whole lot of people, you know that are saying that this guy can beat him. So if you're doing that, that's on you. You know what I mean? That's on you. But the people that have boxed before think that he has a great chance and thinks he's going to win. So that's what I'm saying. So that's pretty awesome. So he's won already, and he's just in a high-profile fight. You know, everybody knows him now. So that's what I mean by he's won, regardless of what he does versus Canelo, right? Canelo is bigger, and Canelo, like Shane Mosley said, Shane Mosley is one that thinks that Terence Crawford is not going to win. Shane Mosley says, well, damn it, Terence Crawford is, he's a fighter, so he's probably not going to want to use his legs that much. And since he's a fighter and don't want to use his legs that much, and he's going to mess around and let his pride get the best of him and stand with Canelo, and that's going to be his downfall. So that's what Shane Mosley says. You know, so you do have the ones that think Canelo going to win because of size, right? But none of them, I've never heard ever, not once, that Canelo is as skilled as Terence Crawford. So that's saying right there enough. That's telling the whole world, as skilled as Canelo is, as Canelo has been in people's top 5 pound for pound for the longest. Some people, which I disagree with, says if he beats Crawford, he's #1 pound for pound again. I might do a video about that. That's asinine to say that, right? But it would put it, you know, he would be wherever he is, 7 or 8, because in that top 5, you ain't coming. Not even with beating Terence Crawford. That's a different story. But anyway, here's the deal. It's something I want to ask, right? Has Canelo been dope tested yet? Right? Because, you know, Terence Crawford came out, 3-4 weeks ago and said they was at his gym, that they dope tested Terence Crawford already. But I'd like to know, does anybody know, has your boy Canelo been dope tested yet? Because Canelo is the one who's been doped before, right? Canelo's been doped before. So have they went to Canelo's and said, hey, dude, you need to get your test. You know, we coming up on you, right? Then you put the simple fact that actually, when you're talking about Eddie Reynoso and those guys who've had 7 people doped from that camp, they should be there daily, right? So we still haven't heard if Canelo was doped. And I just kind of want to know that, because they should be coming out, you know, asking, you know, or at least saying, hey, look, they've been here. I've been dope tested. Because I think the boxing world should want to know if he's been dope tested or not. Because, you know, of all the things that's been going on, right? We should want Canelo to have been dope tested a few times before the fight. And I haven't heard nothing, and it's silent. And I don't want to be the only one asking, is he been dope tested? Like, a Canelo hater. No, at this point, being doped before and 7 people from your camp being doped, I think everybody should be wanting him to get dope tested. Am I wrong here? I don't give a damn what you say. I don't believe you because I'm not wrong. I'm just asking some rhetorical question. The dude should get dope tested. We should all know that by now. And, listen, some of y'all, when you got your lady, what if you got a lady who is not into what you're doing, she's into it just a little bit because you do it, talk about, when you talk about sports or something, hey, talk to your lady every now and then because sometimes your lady will say stuff, give you a one word answer to something. One word. Bam. And it's like, man, all this stuff, I'm talking about just one word. If you got a lady who's not totally into your sport or totally into your boxing, but knows what you up to and talks to you every now and then about it, it is your lady, right? Say something about Canelo. I just said the other day, it tickled me. I said, yeah, Canelo's been dope before. He had some clenbuterol in his system. And they said that, that it comes from the cows in Mexico because they put the clenbuterol in their system. And, her answer was just, like, we talk all the time, back and forth, right? People in the internet, constantly trying to protect the guy and act like. She just said, not on your life. And we kept it moving, start talking about movies. I just said, I got to say that somewhere. Because she gives these one-liners about sport while you talking back and forth. Not on your life. Was that a good enough excuse for having enough in your system to get popped? Right? That's what a person with common sense says. Right? Doesn't have a horse in the race. The problem is, most of y'all have a horse in the race. Right? That's the whole problem. Everybody knows damn well you shouldn't have been caught on no damn doping. And first of all, if you know that's going on and you're rich too. But that's just all the other stuff we're talking about. Bottom line is, not on your life. He shouldn't have been caught doping, right? And especially with all those needle scars on his stomach, which Gennady Golovkin was talking about. So that brings me back to the question. A guy with this history, the gym where he works out, and the coach with this history of 7 fighters all getting caught for doping, all being allowed to fight. None of them were really like, hey, we caught you and you don't get to fight, right? All of them, after they go out there and do their job and fight somebody else, and somebody else, takes this punishment from a dope person, then they get caught after they put that punishment on a dope person, and none of them have been, sued for aggravated assault. Nothing has happened, right? And we still ain't over there, and we got to fight, high-profile fight with Canelo and Terrence Crawford. And we ain't came out today, at least, not yet. Maybe after this, because a lot of people watch me, but they act like they don't. Somebody got to ask, has Canelo, right, been dope tested yet? Don't you think that's a good damn question? Done with Sports Talk Worldwide. Ask that. And I'm up out of here, y'all.